There was someone, Billy.
What are you going to do to localize the opportunities for those products that aren't nationally distributed?
Yep. We are, there's a whole piece to this that I think is very, very powerful, which is to bring in those more local specialty retailers involved. And what we have found is that there are a lot of events that can happen around sampling initiatives and awareness initiatives at that local level. And we actually are fortunate enough at BI to have a whole event team that goes around the country with buses and does that all day long for a lot of our clients. And so we're actually engaging our event team to help us work with how do we manage that at the local level. The other thing is we are actively going to be reaching out, we've talked to Mike about this, reaching out to all those specialty retailers and say, how would you like to get involved? Because they certainly don't have the budgets and the wherewithal to get involved in something like this on their own.
Right. So scale is not necessarily size of,
right.
of market for any given product isn't necessarily a barrier to entry.
In fact, we're trying to get rid of the barrier to
right.
entry because it's not about size. Yep.
Right.
What's the difference between what you're doing and what Good Guy's doing, and are you guys sharing it?
We are. They're a partner of ours. And really, I think what they see, and they've done some really amazing things. What we do with EcoBonus, with Coalition, is we bring in the masses. And we do that through promotional, we do that through the database, we know how to advertise, we know how to drive activity at retail. And so what Dara said from Good Guide is, you know, you guys are going to kind of get that consumer-facing mainstream application tied to what we're doing on the back end.
In the back?
I was just curious, I've always wondered, there's so much packaging that is involved in consumer products, and is there any kind of metric that can come up that sort of measures the amount of packaging versus the actual amount of food or product that's involved?
Yeah.
That could be something
Yeah.
that could be.
That came up a lot with some of the focus groups are saying we want to be able to, some of us want to be able to look at what's the packaging, and we'll make our decisions based on that. In fact, it was really funny, and it's just, you know, in one of the focus groups, they were talking about the Sun Chips packaging, and they said, well, you know, so you know, we were asking questions about that, and then they said, so, okay, but somebody said, well, I'd buy that because it's better packaging, and then someone said, well, what if it was that packaging, but there were Cheetos in there, and then someone else said, can we eat the bag? So I think, you know, anyway, it was kind of funny, but I think that that's definitely coming up over and over again, and that's front of mind for people.
Yeah. There's another right behind, yeah. And
are you familiar with the Walmart Sustainability Index initiative, and that it's an open system, developing an open system for rating sustainability, and if so, comment behind that broader initiative?
sure.
Yes, we are familiar with it, and yes, we're very open to this. We kind of had to create a starting point. And so what we're doing is we're building the coalition this first year based on some of our early partners. The second phase of this, and it's been really interesting, is I'm now out talking to retailers to see what their engagement would look like, and we'd love to have that conversation, certainly with Walmart as well, because the retailers are going to play a key role in this. We're just not there yet.
Sorry, I have a follow-up. Just on our retailers. Basically, what Mike said was very CPG/apparel potentially focused. How do you partner them with a retailer? I mean, do you just say X, Y, and Z products are good stuff, you know, or
Yeah.
do you say this retailer is a very sustainability conscious retailer, therefore
Right.
you shop? You know, I mean,
Right. Well, I think there is that. I mean, we certainly want to look at who are the retailers that we're engaging with before we even call on them. But, you know, in the consumer promotion space, what has typically happened is you see all these national promotions out there, and so that's a manufacturer, and they're running these national programs across all retailers, and they're driving them on their own. But then what they oftentimes is have retailers who will adopt kind of more of their regional or their retailer overlays, where they'll say, you come into our store today, and we're going to donate, double the points and donate to a cause of your choosing. So oftentimes the retailer gets involved plugging in more of the promotional aspects of it, even though we've got the manufacturers kind of starting out as the core coalition.
So if there's a product that has a value of, let's say, 5 EcoBonus points, right, and a retailer wanted to get involved, they could reach out and say, come in between these hours and we'll double your points, right? And the points, again, can be used for a variety of things, buying other sustainable products, donating to a school, to a homeless shelter, buy 1 can of beans, give 1 can of beans, that type of thing. So there's lots of ways to get retailers involved. Back, yeah, and we've got a few minutes left.
Yep.
Are you operating as a kind of virtual wholesaler in your role at EcoBonus, or do you operate on a consulting model?
I couldn't hear, could you
So,
hear?
so are we, is EcoBonus operating in more of a consulting role or as a virtual wholesaler? Is that the question?
We are not a virtual wholesaler. So we're really the conduit for manufacturers and partners to come together, and then we, on their behalf of that coalition, reach out to and engage with the consumers. We develop the technology and aggregate the database and then provide all that for our coalition partners.
Driving consumers to the product, not selling directly to
Yep.
consumers.
So that service is a consulting service, it's not,
Yes,
that's how you get paid.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Any other questions? Billy, you had an interesting question.
Yeah. I can tell you right now that there's a tremendous commitment by BI and the CEO of BI to make this happen. And the model we're using for EcoBonus is not the model in the other coalitions. I can just tell you that right now. We have some very successful coalitions. One is called Food Service Rewards, and if you go to Unilever or General Mills or Kraft site, you'll see Food Service Coalition all over, and that's a BI division. And so all of the initial outlay on development is being done by BI because we believe in this and we believe it's good business. What happens and how we make money is the partners who enroll, when the consumer participates, they pay for the points. And there's fees associated with managing that. So it's a traditional loyalty model. And the other thing is, on the reward side, one of the other things we heard in the consumer focus groups is, don't make me earn 1 million points for a pencil. There needs to be a value proposition there. Has everybody had that happen? So the other thing is that our commitment is to create that value at the reward level and encourage donation and pooling of points and providing opportunities for consumers to get more product. My personal commitment is I think it would be absolutely wonderful. We talk about carbon neutral, if we could have it, grocery neutral, organic neutral. So people could say, I could buy the milk and the eggs, and I can offset that cost because I can use my EcoBonus points to purchase more product. That's just my personal mission.
Do you want one more? No? Okay, so we're out of time. We appreciate your patience.
Thank you.
Kind of warm. And
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.